Okay, so I do see us live on both of our platforms. Just kind of waiting for this notification to show up so others can begin to join us. But what I'll do, since I know that we always have a wealth of information and that you always have a lot of things to do, I don't want to hold us up. I'll go ahead and start with some of the basic housekeeping, and then we'll move into the content of today's broadcast. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you have had the time to jump on here and pay attention to some of the information that we're sharing to you. If this is your first time on our Facebook or YouTube channel, then I want to encourage you not only to like and subscribe to them, but also to make sure that you have your notifications turned on so you can be alerted when we post content in the future or go live on future videos. Now, I am your host for our segments, Juliet Abdel, the President and CEO of the Westminster Chamber of Commerce. And all of these videos are available to you to rewind, rewatch, replay, even share out to others. And if someone doesn't have an account, whether it's YouTube or Facebook, they can still see these videos. Sometimes we hear from folks like they're not online or they don't have the online platform. Even if you're not signed up for those platforms, because of the settings on them being public, you can still view them. So know that that is something that's available to you. The other area or way that you can support this type of broadcast is by hitting the share button on this video so others in your network can see that we're live and can join us on here. You can also comment or react to the video. Commenting on the video allows us to see who's tuned in, any comments that you have, or any questions that may help us either steer the conversation or answer to provide greater clarity. The reactions, whether it's thumbs up, hearts, emojis, etc., just shows us who's tuned in with us in those real times. I have to pause because I see a furry friend. And so this furry friend, let's introduce the Mayor McNally.
This is Miss Gabby.
Yes. Hello, Miss Gabby. And she
She
is just a bundle of joy.
she is was from our Foothills shelter,
Okay.
and she's been with us 4 months.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
she's been with us
Yay.
4 months.
Congratulations. Yes. Well, I
There's
know.
there's days that Mr. Gibbs would pack her bags, but they're pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. It's so funny because dogs, they love one another, but they compete for the attention and the affection sometimes. So that is funny that they at least get along for the most part. So Mondays, of course, we have as an opportunity for you all to be updated on all things going on in our city, things generally that are either mayor, city leadership, or other counselors want you to be aware of, projects that they might have that are coming to life, or just in general. And so today we, of course, have our mayor, Mayor McNally, and she's given us some time to share some updates on things that are going on, maybe some things that have passed as well, and of course, show off her beautiful new fur baby.
She's just acting like she's part of the thing here. We're
Right.
up in Maiden Created space. I've been sewing this morning, so she sometimes sits and sometimes tries to help me thread and do everything. So she's a little helper.
I love it.
So some of the things this week, Tri City Baptist Church, they're at 92nd and Pierce. Just one driveway. They're on Lane, so they're not on Pierce, but they're on Pierce Lane, and um, they have their food bank on Tuesday. So I just wanted to remind folks, and to find, I post whenever they're going to have that. It's either a smaller one on Mondays, or depending on holidays, but then the big ones on a Tuesday every other week. I post on Westminster Cares Facebook page,
Mhm.
and ask people to help share. If you know people, and it's not that if they're going through cancer, if they're going through hard times with whatever medical conditions, and they've got other places money has to go, and it's medicine or food, I hope that, because I know it's in the middle of the day, and I always get complaints, well, why do they do it in the middle of the day? People work. Anyone can go and pick up for any neighbor, any friend. You just have to go there and you'll get a box, and there's no charge, no questions asked. You just have to give, I think, a last name and how many in the household. That's all they're required for what they do. And they've been helping over 16 to 1800 people a week.
Wow.
So that's a lot. And
I
so, um, anyway, they do that as their own congregation and stuff. We do have churches that don't have buildings that have to rent, and so they do food banks and get food over to Tri City. We have other churches that have their churches but don't have a food bank to give to. So we all participate in that, and I just wanted to share. It is tomorrow, and go to Westminster Cares Facebook page, and you'll always, if you like it, then when I put out their note, when I get the notification, I put it out. It's usually Sunday sometime, and so that people are just aware, and you can share with people that may need the help. So just wanted to share with that. And with Tri City yesterday, they had a wonderful celebration. Pastor Larry Robbins has been there 40 years. That's an amazing time to be at one congregation. But I wanted to give a shout out to him because he, for many years, ever since I was even first um, mayor, he came and was asked to be chaplain for our police department. And when I knew I was going to be going and speaking yesterday at their church service, I asked our officers, what do you want me to say? And it just was, he changed lives. He was there during the Jessica Ridgway
hmm,
case, and they just told us that he always knew when to show up. And he's been there through grief, he's been there through happiness, childbirth, whatever the occasion, sad or happy, he was there. We have now moved on, and he helped train another chaplain that is taking over because he's retiring.
oh
And
wow.
um, he's still at Tri City, but now he's doing sort of helping nationally with chaplains for police departments and stuff, and helping people understand why that's important and helping recruit people. So he's moving on to bigger and better things, but he's still here. And we just honored him yesterday, and it was wonderful. And he's the one who, he and his wife, Debbie, before she passed, um, had
Wow.
two black pugs, and I'd never ever seen baby pug. And when they had a litter, when it was safe, they called up and invited us over. And I got to hold, they were smaller than the palm of your hand. And I told him yesterday, it's a wonder I didn't stay for 8 weeks and just be there for them to crawl on and kiss. So anyway, we had that in common. And so um, it was just a great event. The next thing I want to share out with everybody, you need to get on your Facebook and share about State of the City. It will be August 23rd. And Juliet, I'll let you tell all the particulars and how they can get their tickets. But it's going to be a great day. Mark Freitag and myself, the new city manager, will do a tag team sharing about the state of the city. And then I know Juliet is going to have a wonderful fireside chat with some other folks. So it's always just a afternoon to a luncheon to learn about what's going on, what we've done, where we're headed, and a time to ask questions and just have some fun.
Absolutely. Well, you've shared a number of things, so if it's okay, I just want to highlight a couple of those and then I'll move into the state of the city quickly. We have Lisa on here with us. Thanks for tuning in, Lisa. And our past board chairman, Brian, had giving a quick good morning message your way, Mayor. We talked specifically about some food insecurity or food needs with Tri-City Baptist, and I know we were able to honor them for that huge impact that they make in the community because those, I mean, 16 to 1800 people on a weekly basis is a tremendous volume that they're supporting. And as Mayor McNally shared, a lot of churches are able to kind of support with drives and various things like that to kind of give back to their pantry so that they can continue this effort. We'll find the link here shortly so that you can follow the Westminster Cares page and be able to see as Mayor McNally posts those updates for the Tuesday or infrequent Mondays when those occur due to the holidays. current board chairman, Parker Brown. Good morning to you, and thank you for coming onto our broadcast. Mayor McNally also talks to us about the upcoming State of the City. The link is directly included in the comment section for you. Few great things is that every year this program continues to tweak, evolve, and factor in input from the public. And it is no different this year. We actually are in a new location. So we're at the Doubletree by Hilton here in Westminster. We've got our great keynote speaker, which is Mayor McNally, in conjunction with our city manager, Mark Freitag. And then the fireside chat is really going to be an opportunity to discuss some of these hot button topics that we've seen come up as questions for our key industry or key departments at City Hall. So we'll have with us our leadership now that's newer at the police department, our senior leadership over at the fire department. We'll also have the mayor, we'll have the city manager, and you'll still be able to ask questions through the little cards that we have around the table, but know that it'll be more of that talk style. Lunch is always provided, so you're not leaving trying to scramble to get food before you go back to work or go back to your day. That is included, and that is a big part of the covering of your expenses and everything. So tickets are still available. Spread it loud, spread it wide. I was sharing with Mayor McNally that sometimes it's tricky to post things that have a political allure to them, but they're not really political in nature. So we want people to know purely educational. And something Mayor McNally doesn't know that I'll share with her right now is that people truly have loved her style at these events. After the event last year, I had a number of people come up and say, Mayor was pretty transparent and she was forthcoming with her thoughts and opinions. And people appreciate that candidacy and they love hearing, unfiltered or, ungarnished version of what is the truth or what should I know about my community, about my city and those resources. So events coming up on the 23rd over the lunch hour. Lunch is included. Great program. And thank you, of course, to the City of Westminster's presenting sponsorship.
Sure. Well, Brent McFall, when I was mayor with him, I would stand there and he'd be there, but somebody would say, Mayor, can I ask a question? He would always get in the middle of us and say, I just caution you. Are you ready for her answer? If not, then don't ask it. And so he always knew I talked from the heart instead of thinking through what was politically correct. So we laugh about that.
That is too funny. And it's quite funny that sentiment was seen even then. I wasn't sure if you had heard that before. So it's appealing to hear that now.
So I know we just last Friday night, we had a beautiful night. It looked like it might be nasty, but it stayed dry. We had a little wind, but we were fortress down, but we had cuisine with cops in one area of Irving Street Park. And we had the trapeze that's down there. I don't know if people know at 74th and Irving, where Irving Street Library is, there is a whole setup for a trapeze, and if you want to go try, you can. And I didn't know they were going to be there that night, but they were. And when the wind died down, we had some little ones that got up there. I don't know what the price was to do that, but we had people doing it. Somebody, I heard a little bit of talk that they were willing to pay if the mayor got up there and did it, but I didn't hear the full story, so I didn't admit to anything or do anything crazy. It was fun to watch them. And of course they harness everybody in. So if you do let go of that bar, you're not going to just go sailing down. They had people on each side holding you up to let you down gently. Mm-hmm. So that was fun. And then we had our environmental board was there, and they had some games for kids to just learn about recycling and to talk to the board, the commission members that are there. That was a great part of the evening. We had council table, and I was there. We had the reusable bags to give away and the beautiful new teal color. And we had Frisbees and pins. And then all of the stuff that tells about what we're doing and any questions that sometimes come up about things. So then they had movie in the park. And as we had the Frisbees, people were playing and running, and they brought the Batmobile for the kids to go into. That's always a hit. And the police department had things to give away. So a fun night. There were two food trucks there, but people bring their own picnics too. And you can tell how they line up, who the goers to every one of these are. They sit in groups and sort of have like a tailgate party at the park. It was just fun to watch, but the energy of those kids was just amazing. So I just want to shout out that all of these events are free. Yes, the food trucks are there just in case you want to buy anything, but there's nothing that says you can't bring in your own stuff. And people just have a great time. There were kids that come in their pajamas that were matching. It just is great fun. Yeah. So sometimes our tables that are up, people shy away because they don't know, oh, are they selling something?
Mm-hmm.
Everything's free. And we just want to, like the environmental board just wants to share. And they had examples of what was recyclable, and then they would get in conversations with, well, what other things could you think about that you could recycle, just to get people in that mindset. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just want to remind people, don't be afraid to go to those tables. We need big signs that say free or something, so that people don't stand 10 feet away looking at what you're doing. And once you say, would you like a Frisbee? Would you like a bag? What can we answer your questions for? Then they come up and talk to you. So don't be afraid. It's all good, and it's a fun night. And I know there's some more coming. So just check the website for that. A big day today and tomorrow, school starting. Speed, 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 slow down. Those tickets in school zones are hefty. They are for a reason. They are because you need to read, you need to react, and you need to slow down. And I feel sorry for no one that gets a speeding ticket in a school zone. And like in my neighborhood, all of the kids are used to walking to their home school. That school closed. It's Sheridan Green. And
Mm-hmm.
so now they're going to have to cross 112th, where people are normally going an average of 50 to 55 miles in a 40-mile zone.
Mm-hmm.
And we have 3 places that have lights where they could go across. I know they've been busy making that direction of the way the kids are going to have to walk longer lights. So because it's a wide street, and so they've got little legs, and so that they can cross the street. I also watch you folks blow red lights. Well, you're going to kill somebody. And Mr. Seymour, Counselor Seymour, who is at 100th and 99th, and on his days, he's out waving at people with his business. He tells us how many red lights are blown and stuff. I'm beginning to think our society can't read, and they don't pay attention, or they just don't care, or the law's not for them. I don't know which of those things are, but we need to straighten up, because we're writing tickets for 117-mile-an-hour speeding.
Wow.
We are writing tickets of 82 miles an hour in a 40-mile zone, and you deserve them. And for you youngsters, you deserve to have your license taken away, because that is too fast and you're going to kill somebody. So
Mm-hmm.
that is my stake on school starting. Slow down. And if you don't want a ticket, you need to be aware all the time, because I know the police chief has put extra people on duty, because that's one of our number one complaints. Why aren't people reading the speed
Mm-hmm.
limit? And even when I go to council on Monday nights,
Yeah.
I'm the slowest one going. Either I have one area that's 40 miles an hour, I have another area that's 45, and people are honking at me and zipping past, and then they start doing the zigzag,
Mm-hmm.
getting in and out of people. Life is short, folks, and you're creating havoc for people. And so just
Yeah.
beware. If you get a ticket, it's your own fault.
Absolutely. Well, on that same note, we had a quick comment that came through, and I know you're super emphatic, but you're 100% spot on. There, life is short, and I think sometimes people don't realize how short that is. But at the end of the day, you're going to get to the place when you're supposed to get to the place. So if you're going at 10 miles an hour, 100, there will be obstacles until you end up there at that specific time. So leave early, think about it, plan out your day, do what you need to do so you're not in that rush and then tailing people or cutting them off because you've chosen to, leave a little bit later. The funny thing is, I'm exactly like you when, especially it's raining. I am, 10 and 2 and I'm going slow and I let people honk, I let them pass me. If you're going to end up causing accidents and harm
Yep.
to other people, then I will not be taking part in that. Brian Head's quick comment was actually to thank the city for installing new flashing crosswalk lights on 94th by Woodrow Wilson School, so the academy that's out there. It's been a dangerous walkway, and he appreciates the city's partnership in ensuring that those kids are kept safe. And I think that is a reinforcement to even our police chief's efforts to have more people out there to make sure that that safety and security is present during those times.
Yep. This week is a week to just get your head on straight. You've been crazy all summer. It's time to slow down and enjoy the fall.
Yes.
I think Mayor Pro Tem was on last time. I'm not positive, either he or Councillor Seymour. And they mentioned that we were getting a new reorganization chart August 1st. That has happened. And I don't know when you have city manager on, he might mention it, but you can go online and see what that looks like now. And we had a great presentation at our last study session from our Adams County DA around fentanyl. And it was so powerful and so good. I even asked because I know all of our meetings are online, but
Mhm.
and he was first, so it wouldn't be too hard to watch that. And then if you didn't want to watch the rest of what we did, you didn't have to, but it was so powerful. I asked if they could just take his presentation and get that out there everywhere. He shared last summer when we had 5 people die in Commerce City, and it ended up that they thought this is bad enough. They were going to do heroin, but it was laced with pieces of fentanyl. And he shared it only takes 2 grains like of salt in
Mhm.
stuff like that, and it will instantaneously kill you. I didn't realize, I knew it was a
Mhm.
bad thing, but I didn't. He explained it attacks the respiratory and you're gone. That's it. And so um, that summer, he just shared every one of those he went to, and it was the case where it wasn't fentanyl that they knew they were getting, it was something else. And so he
Mhm.
shared that um, for the kids, they're coloring them like Skittles, and they think they're eating candy. So his main message is, if there's any school teacher out there, superintendent, he's willing to come and figure out how to best help educate your parents, how to get kids to understand what's happening so that they stay safe, because you should never take any kind of pill from somebody if you don't know what it is.
Mhm.
And um, he just kept re-emphasizing that because he's seen the tragedy. And
Mhm.
I didn't realize that how he showed a video of going into the home of that night, and everybody that went in had to suit up in the hazmat so that they weren't breathing in
Wow.
any of that stuff because they could have died. So it's powerful stuff. It's nothing to just go, that's never going to happen to me. It is happening. And sometimes our students, when they get into a group, they don't think clearly. We need to teach our kids that it's okay to speak up. It's okay to remind others we shouldn't be doing this. We don't know what this is. And it leads to bad things. So he gave us some pamphlets, and we had them at our Friday night. He made sure that we had that. He's got things. He'll get them to any school. He will get them whatever you need. He will help with, and he's on a crusade to get this stuff stopped. And a question was asked about, you know, the people that sell this stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, isn't it terrible that they kill people? And he said, actually, in wiretaps that they've done, um, what's scary is the sellers don't really care, the cartel.
Right.
If theirs is so potent, it does this, it sort of hires their, like a promotion of, look
Mm-hmm.
at ours is the best,
Right.
uh, how potent this is,
Mm-hmm.
instead of going, oh my gosh, don't buy from them. It elevates them, and so it's a
Wow.
sad world. And he just was fantastic. He makes it easy to understand, and it reminds me of when I had kids in high school and middle school. We always, at the beginning of every year, I reminded them that if they're ever in a situation that they didn't enjoy, didn't like, um, give us a call, no questions asked. And I have one of my kids to this day, I have still no idea why we were called to go pick them up at a party one night, told us where to park so that it wasn't obvious that they thought he was just leaving. Um, but I still don't know to this day why, because honored that I would never ask any questions, and I never did.
Mm-hmm.
And and that was trust, that there was no consequences, no anything. But kids need to know they have that with somebody,
Sure.
and um, and so they need to hear that. I want to quickly get into tonight's agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we, I know there's been a lot of talk about wards. It is not just put on the agenda, do you want wards? Yes or no? And then it happens, because it's in the charter how we're elected,
Mm-hmm.
how a vacancy happens, how the elections go. There are about four things in what was presented to us of what community wanted, a couple of community members wanted on the um, the ballot, and it's not that simple. First, we need to know, do you want it? And people feel that last year's question wasn't wasn't straightforward. Um, so they want it again. I just share that when and if we go that direction, the final piece would take another election, and there would be a question about, if we're going from one, you could call, we're right now in one ward. If you want to go to 3, 6, whatever, that's a question. Vacancy, what happens when somebody dies, leaves, moves, has to resign, what all happens there, and implementing it, because you have a way people are elected right now. How does that, if you're going to change it, how does it happen over time? So it's not a simple. People have tried to make it simple and are condemning others for um, knowing it isn't simple. So please ask questions, and ask people. Call our city attorney. He's happy to answer those questions. He's the one that has to implement it. Um, The other thing we have on tonight is updating a municipal code to what we can do for those buildings that are in disrepair. Um, you might have some reasons to have question about it. It just sets forth a new code of what can be done by fire, police, our code enforcement, etc. And so I want people to know that's on the agenda. So if you read it this afternoon and decide you want to come and speak on it or send us an email, it's on there. And then September 4th through the 8th is our employee appreciation, because we are nothing without our employees who serve each one of you each and every day for the entire city. And so we'll be doing different things each day during that week to say thank you.
Very full schedule, a lot of items that we touched on, Mayor. I don't want to lose sight of a quick comment that came through from Dave Carpenter. First off, he joined in a little bit late and was giving us a quick good morning, but then kind of followed up on your comments regarding the fentanyl discussion that we just shared, where the DA came in last study session and gave updates around what this looks like in and around our communities. And so Dave was just wanting to reinforce that outside of also educating, there could be other things that we can do to discourage or support laws that are out there, or things that we start implementing in place. So his comment.
Good suggestions.
Yeah, good suggestions. Thank you so much, Dave, for that. If you are interested in finding any of the videos, future ones, past ones of council meetings, study sessions, the city is putting those online for you. So if you're not able to go in person, you can tune in from the comfort of your home on YouTube or on their Facebook page. The link that I've included in the chat section is to their YouTube. There you'll find the DA from Adams County's report on fentanyl. And some of that information that Mayor McNally was sharing moments ago as well. And then I had another comment that came through from Parker regarding the DA. Sounds like he has tuned in to those presentations as well. So as the mayor shared, it's right at the start. You can tune in and get some of that information, maybe go back to it later, or, just pick up what you would like to know from those discussions. Of course, tonight is a council meeting, and as Mayor McNally referenced, there are some items about the ballot measures that would come forward regarding wards, including some of these code enforcement ordinances that are out there. The full packet can be found on the cityofwestminster.us agenda page. There you can find it not only online, but you can download it as well. And it does walk you through how you can engage and have an active role. And as Mayor McNally shared, council, to their credit, especially the last, I want to say couple of years now, has been present at all of these city events and programs. They're out there in the public, and they do want you to come out and come up to them and engage with them. They do have great free swag, but it's also free conversation with them. That all it requires is for you to ask that question or just say hello or thank them, of course, for their service. Now, Mayor McNally, you also had mentioned to me about the Sheridan Green. And so what I had done was included the link for that. Do we want to touch a little bit about that as well?
August 24th will be our second meeting with the community. They have on the website, they have what the staff listened, and there's some things there's a whole list there of all the things they heard. They took some of the major areas that a lot of people gave similar input, and the number one is this community would like it to stay much like the school was, where it's adults and kids and interacting in some manner together and having that community feeling in that building. The city has on their number 2 that they have received from a church, the church that's in Bradburn Village, the Presbyterian church there. Evidently, they have outgrown that church. And so they were looking at buying the building and turning it into a church for them. And then the third option that I've seen, and it's not options, it's things to discuss. These are not done deals on any framework. It's just sharing with the public what's out there, that maybe selling to the church, but having some of it leased back to the city so they could use it for the things that the community would like. So nothing's in stone. I hear from my community often if I'm walking, talking, or just at a stoplight. They will stop me and ask these questions, because I've lived here 45 years. And so Sheridan Green wasn't here while I was on this PTA president and on the accountability committee. It was decided to go to build that. So I've gone full circle with Sheridan Green, from not having it to opening it to closing it. So it has been an important part of this community, um, and I know that the city is listening. What we need to hear is, I don't know what the costs are if we
Mhm.
take it over and start maintaining it. Those are the realities that they will start sharing and continuing to listen. So there's no hard deals out there. It is time to hear what you have to say about what they are going to present, and you still have time to, at that meeting, to share. I have said to anybody that can't be there, email me. I will make sure your statements are included in that meeting. So I know I've seen a couple on when I posted about something that people can't be there, but they
Mhm.
like this, that, or the other thing. I am taking those forward, and I will. I mean, I just remind everybody, like, if you have comments about tonight's meeting, for me personally, after 3 o'clock, my phone's off and my head gets into the meeting, and I don't look at my emails or anything until I get home. So if you have something um, that needs to, you want heard or seen, do it before 3 o'clock. Or I know those that are working sometimes don't see late emails until later. Um, so it is what it is. Everybody has their way of getting ready for the day. So I just wanted to share that, because sometimes I read things at 10 o'clock or midnight when I get home and go, oh, I just saw this. So just fair warning.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for offering up to take any comments, especially if they're not able to be there. I know sometimes schedules conflict. There is enough notice, so hopefully some of our residents can go out there and be activated, and knowing that there's are options that are out there, and that the city is open, of course, to any additional thoughts that are coming by. The link, of course, has been included in the comment section for folks to be able to follow. And Mayor McNally, I always heard the start of this, so we're slightly over, but was there anything else that you didn't get to share with people that we wanted to in the last couple of seconds?
I'm looking really quick. I think those were absolutely all of my notes. I'm sorry that Sheridan Green got between the DA and ballots. So
That's okay. I know. We ended up jumping a little bit, but that was entirely fine. For those of you that have tuned in, we want to thank you and encourage you to reshare this video to your network. Of course, sign up so you can be present at State of the City at the Sheridan Green meeting. Rewind and rewatch the DA's presentation on fentanyl. Take account for schools going back today and tomorrow. So note traffic, note your time when you're commuting, and just be safe and read those things that are out there for you in the public. Of course, the mayor is always available to answer any question. So if we didn't get to a comment or question that you may have had, or you rewatch this and we're no longer live and have that, you can always give us the hashtag replay and type in whatever that comment or question is, or DM the page directly if it's something that's more personable to you. We'll get that over to the mayor to come back to us with a comment or with a question, or reach out to you directly. I want to thank you, of course, Mayor McNally, for being on here with us, sharing all of these great updates, and for being an active agent in our community. We are always so grateful to you for spending the time with us on these Mondays. So thank you once again.
absolutely.
Have a great day.